Well, welcome to Dog World TV here at the final General Championship show of 2016. It's LKA, and joining us today is Jeff Horswell. Thank you very much for joining us, Jeff. Had a busy morning?
Yes, I've been judging Mastiffs and Australias, so it was a busy and interesting morning.
And you've got more tomorrow?
Irish Red and White Setters tomorrow, yep.
On the judging front, you've got a rather exciting appointment in the distance, Best in Show at Crufts.
Yes, it is. I mean, I was amazed to have been asked. Really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, the great thing is I've absolutely no idea which Southern dogs will come forward. So it could be it will be really exciting.
Now, on the judging front, you wrote an article for the Kennel Gazette, the latest edition. And basically you said you attend shows because you enjoy it.
Yes.
Do you think that those dog shows are doing enough to encourage people to be here?
I think shows now are run to a very high standard. The shows in the UK are probably the most professionally run in the world, but there's always more that we could do. And it's not always somebody else's problem. If you as a breed want to encourage more people to show in your breed, then you've got to be welcoming and encouraging to new people in your breed. And quite often we start with something that isn't terribly good. I mean, my very first show dog was rarely placed, and rightly so, but people in the breed were very nice to me, very encouraging, and I got a better one and a better one. So you can nurture people, and if it's a nice day out, people will come again.
And we've spoken to Simon Luxmore, Kennel Club Chairman, a few times over the past couple of years, and he feels a positivity and an optimism in the air around UK dog shows. Do you get that feeling?
Yes, I think there is. I think you look at the numbers and they are increasing slightly. I think there is a feeling that the Kennel Club is starting to listen, starting to be on the side of exhibitors, which is as it should be, because actually the Kennel Club board is made up of people who are current and past exhibitors.
The big talking point from the article was judging. Why is judging such a big thing for the Kennel Club to focus on?
I think we need to focus on it because it's something that we might be able to do something about. The surveys that we've undertaken about the reasons for people coming to shows or no longer coming to shows tend to suggest that the judge is one of the most important factors. There are others, of course, like the distance, the cost, but who is judging tends to be one of the reasons many people come to the show or don't come to the show.
And you've played a major role in the restructuring of the FCI agreement that collapsed not that long ago after the membership overturned it. What's the Kennel Club doing to restructure that arrangement?
We've got a new agreement with the FCI. I think one of the problems with what happened earlier in the year was the FCI felt that we were suggesting that British judges were the best and FCI judges were no good. And obviously that didn't go down terribly well with the FCI, because there are a number of people outside the UK who are excellent judges, who judge every week and who've got huge reputations. And they tended to think that we were suggesting that they weren't as good or well trained as us, whereas actually some countries have far better training than us, and of course some countries have far worse training than us. But we can't suggest that everything in the UK is brilliant and everything outside the UK is poor.
And from those discussions, are you happy with the outcomes?
Yes, I think there's an outcome that both sides are very happy to live with. It shows a respect on both sides. They respect our judges and our judges' training. We respect their judges and their judges' training. But we will expect people who are going to judge in the UK to give us some idea of the experience they have in the breeds that they're judging. And I think exhibitors here expect to know that a judge taking on their breed at CC level has judged that breed before, has got a degree of experience and a degree of knowledge. And I think both sides benefit. We benefit from getting an outside opinion who perhaps doesn't know the form. People judging the breed who perhaps come from the country of origin, it's useful. And for us to be able to go abroad is also useful, because we get the opportunity to sit and watch breeds in their native country, to discuss things with breed experts in their native country. So the dog world is very international, and I think we can all learn things from each other. And hopefully, now that we've got a new agreement and relations are restored, we can continue to build those good relationships and that learning experience, which is two-way.
Now, can you reveal any of the details of what the agreement is?
Well, the agreement hasn't yet been formally agreed by both sides, although that's just waiting for a meeting. But I can say more or less what I said at the SGM when I briefed members on what was happening, and that is that all FCI judges judging in the UK will have to fill in a contract, and that contract will ask for some brief details of what judging experience they have if it's a breed that they've not judged in the UK before. And likewise, British judges going abroad, we may be asked by the local kennel club to fill in a similar contract. So it is very much a two-way, mutual, treating each other the same.
Sounds like a level playing field.
Yes.
Now, something that you're playing a very big role in is new judges. What is it the Kennel Club are doing to encourage new judges?
Well, it's no secret that we are currently looking at the whole judges' training and approval system. Simon Luxmore has gone on record a number of times now as saying that he thinks the old way of clocking up numbers is no longer fit for purpose. And I think many of us agree with him. And our training methods in the UK are pretty much haphazard. You could do your CC exam before you've ever judged a dog in the breed, and having passed that exam you then have to do 200 dogs of that breed, and it doesn't make sense. We don't have a structured approach, and I think some people find our system very discouraging, having to just travel around the country judging small numbers. And in the old days, it was a learning experience. I'm not sure that people learn a lot now by judging small entries at open shows.
The way you obviously had to judge that way, making up numbers, how did you feel as a new judge coming up that way?
Well, I started quite a few years ago, and entries then were a little bit greater than they are now. I think experience is a great thing to have, and certainly you need to have the experience to feel comfortable yourself to go in the ring and tackle a breed. I mean, I wouldn't go in and judge a breed unless I felt I was relatively comfortable with the breed and felt I could do an acceptable job, because I don't want to make myself look a fool. And when you judge at CCN level, the ringside is full of people who know far more about that breed than you do, sat watching you and picking you to pieces, and we all do it.
Now, we've spoken to Simon Luxmore in the past, and we've spoken about it already. Judging was a major part of what the Kennel Club wants to develop and a major part of your article, but you were looking at it from a slightly different perspective.
Yes, I was looking at it from the fact that there is dissatisfaction about judges. Of course, you never hear about the 95% of times where people are quite happy with the judge's performance. And it isn't about a judge's opinion. We all have different opinions, and if we all saw dogs the same way, there'd be no point having a show every week, because the same dogs would win. But I think some judges are thought of as giving better value for money, and I think exhibitors can expect that the judge will go over their dog properly, watch the dog move, and then give some consideration to their placings. And sadly, sometimes some judges give the impression of not watching, not being interested, and some perhaps are a little bit unsure as procedure. And I think if we could tidy just some of those things up and possibly nip some problems in the bud, then that might just add to the exhibitor experience.
So what was your proposal?
My proposal is that there should be independent people at shows whose role is to watch judges, and then they can report into the Kennel Club if there are any incidents. They could also, if need be, deal with issues on the spot. For example, if a judge is looking a bit confused and lining the dogs up when they place them one way in one class, a different one in another class, just go in and have a quiet word and say, look, it's left to right, that's how you should do it. That could deal with that issue and not end up with something big coming in. But all too often, we get the odd complaint in about a judge's performance. Someone will say, oh, they didn't pay attention, or they weren't thorough enough. The judge will be written to. The judge, of course, will deny anything. And it leaves the judges committee sort of, well, what do we do? And there's nothing we can do. But if we were to get written reports in saying that there had been issues, that someone independent had observed it, we could perhaps issue a warning and then take further action if judges don't improve on their experience, their performance.
So do you think that means that the structure for complaints also needs revamped as well?
I think the structure for complaints is okay, but the problem is it's just not used. Quite often you see people complaining about the performance of a judge and then nothing's done about it. And it's not about whether you like their placings or not. And it wouldn't be for anyone to make comment on their particular placings, but just on the way they've performed, their professionalism in the ring, whether they've actually controlled the ring in a reasonable way, whether they've gone over the dogs properly, whether they've watched the dogs. It's really, are they giving value for money?
And it sounds similar to something that the American Kennel Club have, the field officers.
Yeah, the American Kennel Club have field reps, and they will go round and look at things, and it's probably not a million miles away from that sort of system.
And how far would their remit go? Are they able to dispute placings, or is it simply a procedural review?
I would be totally against someone being able to say that the placings are wrong and even get placings changed. That's not the role of the Kennel Club. That's totally up to judges. And, sometimes you'll watch judging and think, well, they don't like what I like, but I can see what they've done, and that's fine. Some judges will perhaps be more fanatical about heads than others, and that's fine. We don't all have to agree, nor should we. So it absolutely wouldn't be changing the placings or even saying, well, I don't think they did a nice job because I thought the third should have won that class. Yeah. It's nothing to do with that at all. And I would defend the right of a judge to make a mess. If they do, sometimes some judges see things a little bit left field, and I don't see a problem in that. It's what keeps the sport going, that we all have different interpretations, different views, but I think we need to do it professionally.
And you said in the article, we're not robots. Humans have off days.
Absolutely. Some judges, some of our best judges, might actually have a bad day. It happens. I mean, it's not very nice if it's your breed that they suddenly have a funny day in, but sometimes you don't have a good day. Sometimes we as judges might actually get classes wrong. You occasionally think, I wonder if I got that class quite right. Should second have been third or the other way around? And it happens. And you could agonise forever, but we sometimes might get placings slightly wrong. We might sometimes wish we could go back and do that class again. That doesn't mean to say we've done a bad job. And sometimes 2 and 3 and 4 could swap round,
And talking about things that you'll want to redo, in 3 months' time, that's something you're going to want to relive forever. The biggest appointment a judge can have.
Yes, it's a great honour and it's a great appointment, and I shall enjoy my time in the ring, no doubt. It's the sort of thing you only get to do once, and of course, once you've done it, the focus is quite rightly totally on the winner.
So you're going to revel in these few months where you're the star?
I don't think I'm going to be a star for more than... I'll have 20 minutes of fame in the big ring and that'll be it.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Good luck in 3 months' time back in the NEC, and thanks for talking to us.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Simon.